Hello, monsters! Princeton Vice here. Oh, what? Oh, mail call! Thank you, Murray! Your bone dry skull, how are these wet?
One of life's great mysteries.
Alright, our first letter is from Wretched Lydia. Oh, I follow her on TikTok. She writes, "Hello, I appreciate you following me back," which I did. But when I saw who you were, I felt like I had to send a message. When I was first starting out horror hosting, I actually found your video about it online. Link somewhere. I just wanted to thank you for pointing out helpful pointers like that for such a niche thing. Aw, I'm so glad that you got to hear that the video was useful. That's a huge ego boost. She continues. While I have a shred of your attention, any thoughts on what a live horror hosting show might entail? That's a good question. I've never hosted any live events as Princeton Vice. Speaking of which, if you live in the DC metro area and would be a half fan of that, let me know. I do know some great horror hosts who have, and if you want to reach out to them, there's Dr. Bob Tesla, who's done a lot of several shows. I think he's from Ohio, I want to say. He also does board game and live streams on Twitch. Aurora Gorialis is based out of Baltimore, and she's done her Shocktail hours. You can find her at Instagram.com/Aurora Gorialis with a G. Mr. Lobo from Cinema Insomnia. He does a lot more tape shows than live, but he's also a great, well-rounded showman. So if anyone could give you tips, it's him. And lastly, the great Count Gordeval himself. I've seen a few of his live shows, and he's fantastic. As far as general tips I've stolen from watching Count Gore, one, it's up to you whether you have a script or not. Some people love it, some people hate it. But at least you should have an outline at the very least, such as a master outline of how many scenes, how many segments, if you're having guests, who you're bringing in, etc. Number two, people love prizes, even if it's just like gummy worms or dollar store critters to pass around. Three, run some little mini games with like 3 or 4 people, like egg and spoon races, but not real eggs. Guessing games, trivia. This is similar to doing Virgin Games before Rocky Horror, if you've ever done Rocky Horror Shadowcast. If the games happen to be themed to the movies, even better. Break a leg, and if I ever up in Salem, I'll make sure to say hi. All right, our next letter is from Chef of a Salesman, also from TikTok. Thank you so much. I was wondering what your favorite horror comedy is. Of the several that come to mind, I think Cabin in the Woods takes the top spot for me. I love the way it pokes fun of the genre with placing bets on the monsters and the mandatory tropes. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Sincerely, Chef of a Salesman. First of all, thanks so much for writing. Second, I can't pick just one. If I just had to pick some of the top horror comedies in no particular order, Cabin in the Woods is in there. Also, Army of Darkness. I'm a huge Bruce Campbell fan. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. For newer stuff, there's newish stuff. There's Happy Death Day, which I love. Tucker and Dale versus the Evil. Also, I'm sucker for any single movie made in a campy retro way. Some of them are hilarious, like Lost Skeleton of Cadavra and Dark and Stormy, for example. Or there's also ones that are a little bit less funny, more heartfelt, just homages, like Christopher Mim films. There's also ones that just make you kind of go WTF, like Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, which I remember seeing in college, and it's still stuck with me. It's just ridiculous. There are definitely a lot of movies that I want to see and have yet to. Renfield, Lisa Frankenstein, The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. I bet I'm going to love them. There's just never enough time. Thanks for writing. Next one is from Viscount Vicham I think I'm spelling that right, on Instagram, who writes, I'm enjoying your 2-sentence horrors. Thank you so much. I'm going to paraphrase the next few lines. My Grave Mood Rings web series has featured many horror host introductions. To help cross-promote, would you be interested in writing a 2-sentence horror story about mood rings? Just a thought. Cheers, Viscount Vicham. Certainly, I'd be glad to bump the channel. I wouldn't be here if other people hadn't bumped me.
Oh, sure, you can bump people, but when I bump people, I get scolded for it.
You tried to bump me in front of a moving train.
Hey, I said think fast first before I did it. That should count for something, right? Right? Whatever.
Back to the letter. Let's see. 2-sentence horror story about... Okay. They say a mood ring changes based on the wearer's emotions. But I know it's based on their internal temperature. Either way, I stood still as I watched the mood ring change on the finger of the cryogenically frozen man.
Meh.
To find out more about the Grave Mood Ring series, a loving parody of slow-moving gothic soap operas, you can learn more at www.mysteryarts.com. Oh, next person. Hello, Princeton. You can call me Dahlia. I think you and I could be friends. Oh, I love friends. Combining our powers could be formidable, at the very least infamous. Yeah, that's good. You see, I'm an aspiring horror host with an extreme wealth of knowledge of both horror and Disney films. I know that these contradict each other quite a bit, but it is what it is. No, I don't see that as a contradiction at all. I might be misremembering or misquoting, but I vaguely remember that Walt Disney wasn't opposed to flirting with darker elements, like a roller coaster. It's okay if you get scared along the way, so long as you find yourself someplace safe at the end. And heck, Haunted Mansion is one of my favorite attractions in the world. She continues, I would like to know what your 5 favorite movies are of all time. I hope you're having the best day ever, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Yours truly, Dahlia Nightshade. P.S. Remember, it's okay to bite someone if you have to.
Oh, I like that motto.
Oh, thanks so much for writing, Dahlia. That's a tricky one. It's going to change on any given day, but some of the contenders that don't overlap with some of the other films I mentioned in no particular order, Maltese Falcon, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Sleuth, The Mummy, 1999, Emperor's New Groove, the original Dracula also on that list somewhere if I could squeeze a 6th in there. It doesn't look like Dahlia has any content for her show up just yet, but I keep an eye out for Dreadful Delights with Dahlia Nightshade. I can't wait to see what they come up with. Oh, last letter. Hi, I'm a Nigerian prince and need to stash my millions of dollars. Well, that sounds like a sound investment opportunity. Saving that for later. In the meantime, if you have any letters or questions, send them to princetonvice@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Till then, let's get back to our movie.